So I'm on the BJJ Fanatics website, and I see 3 new videos by some guy named Thomas Radzinski. You familiar with that guy at all?
Nope, absolutely not.
No? Well, he's got some good stuff. Three brand new videos. They're getting amazing reviews, which is good to see as well. But you got to tell us about them real quick?
Yeah, I had, you guys already know, but I had opportunity to go to Boston, shoot 3 more instructionals, 1 on butterfly hook, complete guide for butterfly hook, 2 wrap, lapel, and submit them, and 3 we have taking the back. It's particularly designed for guys for over 40 because there is no climbing involved. All the back takes are on the ground. Very, very full and effective system. So dip into it. I'm really hoping that this is going to help your jiu-jitsu and really take it to the next level.
BJJfanatics.com. Just search ROZDZ. We have all had that situation where after classes when we want to ask a question. And Thomas, a lot of those questions you've already answered, right, at Ask a Black Belt.
Yeah, it's another podcast that I'm running. It's on podcast, all podcast platforms, plus on YouTube. You can find it anywhere. Just search for my name. Search for Ask a Black Belt. At this point, over 100 episodes, different questions, jiu-jitsu, life-related, but something that everybody comes across, and often these questions sink in our mind, but we don't ask for whatever reason. So if that benefits you, go there, listen. It actually might help your jiu-jitsu, might help your life as well. And if you have any questions, find me on Instagram and drop me a line. I'll be happy to answer your question and mention your name during the episode.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we are live.
Here we go.
Hey, listen, I got this cool thing. So shout out to Mark, one of my students. But he gave me one of those, and I don't know officially they are called, but they are like, is it like a coin, a recognition coin for everything that we do for law enforcement.
Oh, cool.
And, I always saw them, like people having them, different, I guess, divisions of law enforcement and military. They have them. They are unique to the different divisions. And, he gave me one, and it's kind of cool.
It is
Look,
cool.
Take a look at it. I don't know if I can pass it along over there. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Now you have to get up. It's kind of cool, It made my day. Like, he came out very complimentary and all that, and about everything that we've done for him and for law enforcement, and he shared one. Yeah, it's kind of cool,
Yeah,
So
Illinois State Police, integrity, service, pride.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So shout out to Mark.
Nice.
Mark, thank you for being a great student, and thanks for continuing doing jiu-jitsu and your contribution to all the students and everything that you all do on and off the mat.
This is really nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Like, it's real.
Yeah, it's not like
It's got some
plastic.
weight to
There's
it.
weight to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
this is
absolutely. I
nice.
dig it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So, so it was the first one to that collection at the academy. I like it. Maybe hopefully in the future, if we continue doing the job, maybe more will come.
You'll get some more from other
Who knows?
people?
Who knows? But that's kind of cool. Don't forget to cast your vote on our website, therowradio.com. Go cast a vote. Share your thoughts on the episodes that you like the most, your favorite episode, the episode that you like the most, your favorite episode. Yeah, I know. And then we'll be sending out some T-shirts, some cool T-shirts, the Road Radio T-shirts. Go get them. Why not? We'll read all the comments on air. So if you want a shout out from us, drop us a line on our website. The Road
First
Radio.
one will be going out soon, a couple weeks.
therowradio.com. therowradio.com. Do it from your phone. You don't even have to wait to get at home. Just do it now. As
Really?
you're
You
listening.
can do stuff from your phone?
Do it now.
You don't have to wait till you get home? What year is it?
Do it now.
2003,
Right
2004?
now.
I'll do it as soon as I'll check my email as soon as I get home.
Hey, I hear that all the time.
Do
I
you?
hear it all the time. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So, are we going to talk about what we're supposed to talk about?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We done with the ads.
Are
and
we worthy?
advertisement. Are we worthy?
Yeah.
Self-worth, right? So it's an interesting conversation. Interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes we feel not confident in what we do. Oftentimes we feel that we could be better. Oftentimes we feel that others are better than us, and the value of our own worth is being questioned by ourselves, right?
Mhm.
So like oftentimes this comes from the level of confidence that we have in what we do and who we are, and this is by deeper than skill, but obviously there's different depths of this conversation, but it oftentimes goes beyond the skill itself. It goes into who we are fundamentally as human, as a person, as an individual, within a group, within society, within the world, with a community. How do you view the self-worth? How do you measure that?
You mean my own?
Well, what's your perspective on this?
I think my perspective is that we put it, we focus on the wrong things that give us a perception of who we are.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's what you have. It's what you achieved, maybe financially or academically or in your career. But I think a big part of the actual definition is a feeling that you are a good person. And you can get all those other things that I just talked about and be a really shitty person.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But because you have them, you think you're wonderful, and you have this conflated self-worth. So I like to go by the stricter definition, and it's are you a good person, and how do you obtain that? Well, I think it's by being good to others, by helping others, by setting a good example, by doing the right thing, by taking the high road, all that stuff, rather than the car you drive, the house you live in, the paycheck, the gold medals, all that other material. I think I think we have a tendency to put worth on those material things instead of those intangibles that we don't see. I think that somebody who maybe makes $30,000 a year, who is out there helping their community, should have a much higher sense of self-worth than somebody who's making $130,000 a year but treats people poorly.
So is the self-worth driven by what we think of ourselves or what other people think of us?
I think it's what we want other people to think of us. Does that make sense?
No. What if I don't care what people think of me?
Well, that's fine.
So does that mean that my self-worth is low?
No, not at all. It is what you feel about yourself. But like I said, you could feel things about yourself that necessarily aren't good, but you, for some reason, you place importance on them. You think that they are.
Right. So that would mean my self-worth is low.
I don't know. That word "self" is what changes it, right? Because what do you define as value? What do you define as success? What do you define as being worthy? Is somebody who's living on the
well? But before we start assigning, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is the self-worth based on what we think, or is it based on what somebody else thinks, right? Because if it's based on what I think, then it doesn't matter what people think of me. Mm-hmm. As long as I'm doing right by me, my self-worth is high. However, if it's based on what other people think of me, then it doesn't matter what I think about myself. As long as others think well of me, then that would be high. Right, so we're talking about two different perceptions.
Yeah, I think. Well, the second part of the definition is who deserves to be treated with respect. So I think that it does matter both. I I think there's a
So
bit
perhaps,
of both in it.
so perhaps in an ideal world, as we look at ourselves as somebody worthy and somebody who is providing a value to community, but also the community sees the value in us by a good member of that circle.
Yeah, and then it goes like what I was saying earlier, though, too. Like, okay, why do I deserve respect? Do I deserve respect for what I have, or what
Stop
I've done?
touching the mic.
I want to be like you. I'm going to start breathing real heavy. But I guess for me personally,
Yeah.
right, like, instead of just trying to project and stuff, I guess for me, my self-worth comes from knowing that I'm trying to do the right thing. What in regards to many different aspects of my life. And if I keep trying to do the right thing and I catch myself when I slip, hopefully before I slip, then I feel pretty good about myself. And if you concentrate on that, I think that if I concentrate on that, then those other things that I don't have, that other people find value in, will mean less to me. Because it's easier to show your shiny gold medal and saying, look what I did and look at me and I have this thing, than it is to just be going through life knowing that you're doing right by people. I think that's very hard for people to see sometimes, because it takes some reflection. It's easy to see the car you drive when you pull up in it. It's hard to see the dedication that it took you to maybe achieve, and I know I'm kind of talking or burning both ends of the candle here. It's hard to see what it took to achieve that, let's say. A car is a really bad example. But, we often talk about like guys take it to the mat or to competitions and stuff. Should somebody be respected more because they won the gold medal, or should they be respected more for the effort they put in? Because we often talk about the guy who won maybe didn't put in the work. The guy who won, there's luck involved. The guy who put in all the work to get there, who didn't start with the same advantages, should he not be looked at the same way as the person who won the medal? I don't know.
That's
somebody
a hard
pulls
one.
a hamstring, but man, they worked so much harder than another person, and they didn't have the support system. But because they didn't get the medal, they're not revered as much or given the respect as the person who did.
Well, you're right. You're 100% right. However, there's the other side behind all of this. The one who is recognized as the best of the best, why shouldn't? And I'm playing devil's advocate, but why shouldn't they be respected for what they've done?
They should.
They are
there
the
should
best
be
of the best.
There should definitely be respect given there. But like I said,
But look, this is why I asked the question at the very beginning. Is the self-worth driven by what we think of what others think? Because a gold medal is a reflection of what others think of us. This is somebody said, you have achieved this, here's the reward. This has nothing to do with what we think.
No, but then we take that and we run with it. And we think that we're better than because we have it. Instead of maybe thinking of all the good things that, nobody ever achieves anything by themselves. However, they sometimes act like it.
Yeah.
So if you can get that gold medal and then turn around and say, hey, I would not have achieved this. This would not have been given it to me if it wasn't for everybody else around me and my competitors who made me better.
Well, this is why I was asking that question at the beginning, because this kind of leads me, at least me personally, leads me in a direction. It's ultimately is really what we think and what we do about who we are is not necessarily what other people think of us. I mean, that's always great recognition if other people see value in us, but self-worth, in my eye, and again, it's an open conversation, but in my eyes, is how we see ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think if that's the way you want to look at it, then I think you have to take an honest look at yourself.
And
right?
This right there, what you just said, I think is a pivotal point, because oftentimes we don't look in the mirror. We don't have a self-reflection point. Mm-hmm. We play pity. And life is hard, or I am the best of the best,
right?
And we go into these extremes, and perhaps we feel bad for ourselves, or we feel overconfident in certain areas.
Yeah, or conceit.
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
Exactly. And we don't have the points of reflection of this was hard. Even though it was a failure, it was hard, and it is worth celebrating. This is a pivotal point. Mm-hmm. This was a success. And let's celebrate that success. Let's find this point of failure as a learning curve to get better. Yeah. And I think these self-reflection points, this is really what creates the milestones in order for us to continue growing with the self-worth that we look into ourselves.
Right.
And by doing so, I think if we do the right thing, if we are the good people that I think society needs today, the community and a society will see that eventually. I mean, it is, don't you feel like when you run into somebody who has good intentions, like it's clearly, most of the time, it's clearly visible, like he is a good guy. He is a good guy. Like it is pretty transparent that that person is going out of their way to help, to contribute, to make an impact. And that, I think, those moments right there, when the self-confidence is high, self-worth is high, and we're trying to pay forward with towards the community, this is, I think, where the community can easily recognize that and pay it back with the support, with the network, mm-hmm. with everything that is necessary for that person to be recognized. And I think that's like the next layer. I don't know. I just my thoughts on this.
Yeah, no, I get it. I appreciate that. And while you were talking right before you started that, I was thinking about somebody named Carrie Strug, and I don't know if you know who that is, but mm-hmm. she was an Olympian who had to do her last routine, which was the vault.
Oh yes,
and her ankle was wrecked.
Right? Yes, I know. Yeah, I remember that. What year was this?
Like 96.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember watching that.
She's not the most decorated out of those girls that went that year. Those women that went that year. Mm-hmm. She's not the most well known, but she could probably stand prouder than any of them for
self-worth.
Yeah, for going out there with that ankle trashed. Yeah. Nobody would have said anything negative about her if she didn't get back up.
Yeah.
All she had to do was do it. She just had, and she stuck it, and she did great. And so that's what I was kind of alluding to or getting to in the beginning, is that it's not the medals, it's the what am I trying to say? It's the heart that you put into it, right? Is more important than the outcome. Because some of those other women went on to bigger and better things, and they were signed to all sorts of endorsements and blah, blah, blah. But that's something those endorsements fade, that money goes away. Mm-hmm. That achievement of what she did that day will never, ever go away.
Yeah, that's definitely a heavy stuff right there. All right. Wrap up?
Sure.
All right. On to the next one.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.